In this video, we are focusing on uncountable noun or non-count noun and how to make non-count nouns countable. So first of all, let's check whether you know which noun is countable or which noun is uncountable. So let's start with coffee. Do you think you can count coffee? No. So coffee is uncountable. Water. Do you think you can count water? No. Water is a non-count noun or uncountable noun. What about cookie? Can you count cookie? Yes. So cookie is countable. For music and art, what do you think? Both music and art are uncountable. And the last one, cat. Can you count cat? Yes. So you can say, I have 3 cats at home. Now let's talk about countable noun just a little bit. If you see in the example here, you notice the article in front of the noun, right? The word dog, apple, and house. So for countable noun, we can add articles like a or an in front of the noun. Okay, and countable noun can also be in a plural form. It means you can add an s to the noun. Okay, and you can add numbers in front of the noun. You can say 3 dogs, 5 apples, 2 houses. For uncountable noun or non-count noun, do you think you can make it countable? What do you do if you really want to quantify the noun? Like you really want to say how much to use, how much you need. What do? You can add the expressions describing specific quantities or amounts or units of measurement. You can add them in front of the noun. Okay, so those uncountable nouns become countable. For example, wine. Wine is uncountable, right? But if you put wine in a glass and you use the expression glass of in front of wine, you say a glass of wine, wine becomes countable. It means 1 glass, right? And if you say 3 glasses of wine, it means there are more than 1 glass, right? And it becomes plural. But remember, you cannot add an s to the uncountable noun. Okay, you cannot say wines. You cannot say waters. Okay, what you have to do is you can add an s to the noun in the expressions in front of the uncountable noun. Okay, so you can say 3 glasses of wine, not 3 glasses of wines. Okay, don't say that. Okay, you can say 2 glasses of wine, 5 bottles of wine. Okay, chocolate is also uncountable. If you add a bar of in front of chocolate, it becomes countable. It means only 1, right? Only 1 bar. Or you can say 2 bars of chocolate. It means more than 1, right? So you can count it. For the word information and time is also uncountable. So if you put the expression a piece of or 2 pieces of in front of information, information becomes countable. A piece of information means only 1. 2 pieces of information means more than 1, right? Time as well. If you put a little bit of in front of time, so it becomes countable. A little bit of time means not much, right? So 3 things to remember now is for uncountable noun, you cannot add article a or an in front of the noun itself. You cannot say a wine, but you can say a glass of wine, Okay, numbers also cannot be added in front of the noun. You cannot say 3 wine, but you can say 3 glasses of wine. Okay, also uncountable noun has to stay the same always. Okay, don't change it, don't put an s. Okay, so you cannot say wines. Okay, in the examples here you see the uncountable noun, right? You see music, coffee, art, advice, and kindness, right? And you also notice the expressions in front of each noun, right? You see a piece of, a cup of, a work of, a piece of, a little bit of. Okay, so when you see these nouns, these uncountable nouns, with the expressions in front of them, it means these nouns becomes countable, right? For example, a cup of coffee means only one, right? If you put coffee in a cup, you can count coffee. Okay, it becomes countable. You can say a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee. Okay, a great piece of music. You see the word great here, right? It's just an adjective. Okay, so just focus on the expression a piece of. Okay, if you put a piece of in front of music, music becomes countable. As well as advice, you can put a piece of in front of advice, and advice becomes countable. It means only one piece of advice, right? A work of, you can put it in front of art, so it becomes a work of art, and art becomes countable. A little bit of, you put it in front of kindness, so kindness becomes countable. Okay, but you cannot say a cup of art. Okay, you have to choose the suitable expressions to use with each uncountable noun. Okay, and number 1 here, it says you can make non-count nouns countable by using expressions that describe specific quantities or amounts. And sometimes you can use the same noun with different categories of things. Okay, like in this example, the word music and advice, it takes the same expressions, a piece of. Okay, so the expression a piece of can use with both music and advice. One thing to be aware of when making non-count nouns countable is you have to be sure the subject and verb agree. Okay, so let's look at these examples. All sentences are in present simple tense. Okay, so let's look at it one by one. The first sentence, you see the word information. Actually, information is uncountable, right? But if we put the expressions these 2 pieces of in front of information, information becomes countable. And 2 pieces shows that there are more than one, right? So these 2 pieces of subject of this sentence. Okay, so it takes plural verb because the subject is plural. Okay, so we use are instead of is. Okay, word milk is uncountable, right? But if you put it in a glass, you say a glass of milk, so milk becomes countable. And this is sentence, right? And it is singular because it says a glass of, it means 1 glass, right? So it takes singular verb, so you use is instead of are. So you say a glass of milk is enough for me. Next, encouragement is uncountable, right? But if you put a word of here, it becomes countable, but it is still singular, right? A word of encouragement is the object of the sentence and it is singular. So Make is a verb, right? You have to add an S here because for present simple tense, if the subject is singular, you have to add an S to the verb. Okay, so it becomes a word of encouragement from you, makes my day. The last one, wine, is uncountable. 3 glasses of wine, right? And it is plural. 3 glasses of wine is the subject of this sentence, and it is plural. So verb make here, you don't have to add an S. Okay? And on page 121 in your book, you see a lot of expressions which describe specific quantities or amounts. Okay, you'll know which expressions to use with which uncountable noun. For example, the abstract ideas like kindness, luck, space, and time, you use a little bit of. Okay, you say a little bit of kindness. So kindness becomes countable. The word advice, information, you can use a piece of. Okay, a piece of information, 2 pieces of information. Advice again, encouragement, sympathy, wisdom, you can use a word of. Okay, put it in front of these nouns. Okay, for example, words of wisdom, pieces of advice. Okay, so those nouns become countable. For activities and sports like basketball, chess, soccer, tennis, you can use a game of. Okay, you can say a game of soccer, a few games of basketball. Okay, so you can count the activities, and the sports and the activities becomes countable. Okay, for food, there are a lot of words you can use, like the word box. If you put sugar in the box, you can say a box of sugar or 3 boxes of sugar, a bunch of parsley, a packet of cereal, 3 packets of cereal. Okay, and for liquids like coffee, juice, water, there are a lot of words you can use as well. It depends on which container you put it in. Like if you put water in the bottle, you can say a bottle of water, 3 bottles of water, a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, a glass of juice, 5 glasses of juice. Okay, and there are many more uncountable nouns like bravery and kindness. You can use an act of to put it in front. Okay, clothing, you can use an article of clothing, an item of clothing. Clothing again, and equipment, furniture, music, and news, you can use a piece of. Okay, a piece of equipment, a piece of news. Art, you can use a work of. Okay, a work of art. And this exercise on page 121 will help you, okay, help you to practice using the expressions, okay, to put in front of the uncountable noun. Okay, so you can do it on your own, and then you can get the answers from your teacher. And I hope this video helps you to have more understanding about how to make non-count noun countable. And this is the end of the video.